Before the day begins, before the noise and the pull and the push of everything that is waiting for you, come here, right here, into this quiet. Bring whatever the morning holds for you. Bring the full weight of the world as it currently sits on your shoulders. Bring the things that feel too large and too fast and too relentless. Bring the chaos, not the idea of chaos, but the actual version you are living with right now. You don't have to minimize it before you come. You don't have to pretend it is less than it is. You don't have to perform calm you don't have. Come as you are, with everything you are carrying. Some seasons of life feel like trying to stand still on the deck of a moving ship. Everything is shifting. The ground that seemed solid a few months ago is different now. The plans you made have changed shape. The relationships that seemed stable have developed new tensions or new silences. The work has become harder or heavier or more uncertain than it was. And beneath all of it, there is this persistent undercurrent, the feeling that you should be handling this better, that other people manage chaos with more grace, that your inability to feel calm in the middle of all of it means something unflattering about you. It does not. Feeling unsettled when life is unsettled is not weakness. It is honesty. The chaos is real. The weight is real. The weariness of trying to hold things together when things keep coming loose, that is real. And it is hard. And you are not required to pretend otherwise. What we are here for this morning is not a performance of peace. It is a finding of it. An actual discovery of something that exists inside the chaos, not outside of it. Not on the other side of the storm, but right here in the middle of it. We turn today to a psalm that has been prayed in places of real turmoil for thousands of years. Not as a denial of the turmoil, but as a declaration of something that exists alongside it, something that the turmoil cannot dislodge. The sons of Korah, the writers of this psalm, knew what it meant to live in uncertain times. They wrote it for people who were afraid, who could see their world being destabilized, who needed a word that would hold them when nothing else would. And this psalm begins with a statement that does not ask you to deny the chaos around you. It asks you to locate yourself in relationship to something the chaos cannot reach. Psalm 46, verses 1 through 3. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth give way and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam and the mountains quake with their surging. God is our refuge and strength. Not, God will be our refuge when things calm down. Not, God was our refuge in better times. Is. Present tense, active, ongoing. Right now, in the middle of the chaos, in the middle of the surging. A refuge. A place you can go when everything outside is unsettled. A strength that does not depend on your circumstances being manageable or your emotions being steady. A strength that is available to you this morning exactly as you are. An ever-present help in trouble. That phrase in the Hebrew can also be translated as very well proven in trouble, meaning this is not an untested claim or an abstract theological promise. This is something that has been tried, that has proven true in the actual heat of real difficulty. The psalmist is not asking you to trust something theoretical. He is pointing to something that has already been tested in precisely the conditions you are facing and has not failed. And then look at the imagery the psalmist uses. The earth giving way, mountains falling into the sea, waters roaring and foaming, mountains quaking with their surging. These are not metaphors for minor inconveniences or manageable stress. The psalmist is reaching for the most extreme images of geological and cosmic collapse available to him. The complete destabilization of the most permanent things he knew, and saying, even then, even if the most solid things in your world were to give way, even then, not fear, because the refuge holds not in spite of the chaos, but inside it. The refuge is not on the other side of the mountains falling. It is present in the very moment of the surging. That word refuge is one of the most important words in the entire book of Psalms. It appears again and again throughout the collection. A refuge is not a place that removes you from the world. It is a place you can go to that is stronger than what you are facing. A fortress doesn't make the storm stop. It gives you somewhere to stand while the storm blows. When the psalmist calls God a refuge, he is saying, there is a place in God that the chaos cannot enter. There is a dimension of His presence that is untouched by the surging. And from that place, from inside that refuge, you can face whatever is surging with a different kind of steadiness. Notice the psalmist doesn't say, therefore the chaos will stop. He says, therefore we will not fear. Those are different things. The chaos may continue. The surging may continue. The waters may keep roaring and the mountains may keep quaking. But inside the refuge, fear does not have the final word. Because the thing you are most afraid of, the worst case, the place where everything gives way, is already known and already held by the one who is the refuge. He is not surprised by it. He is not overwhelmed by it. He has not lost his grip on anything. There is a second word of Scripture today that speaks directly into the chaos, with a promise that is almost startlingly specific. It was not written from a distance. It was spoken by Jesus himself in a room the night before his death to his closest friends who were about to face the most shattering experience of their lives. He looked at them, knowing what was coming, knowing they were about to be scattered, knowing the storm that was hours away. And he said something remarkable. In John chapter 14, verse 27, Jesus says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. My peace I give you." Not the peace of resolved circumstances. Not the peace of everything finally being okay. Not the peace the world gives, which is always conditional, always dependent on things going well, always fragile in the face of real threat. His peace, a different kind entirely. A peace that exists in the middle of the worst circumstances, given by someone who was hours away from crucifixion and still had peace to offer, still had peace to give. The peace didn't belong to good conditions. It belonged to him, and he gave it away. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. This is not a command to feel nothing, or to suppress what is real, or to pretend the storm isn't coming. It is a command rooted in a gift. He has left something. He has given something. And what he has given is not a set of calming techniques or a philosophical framework for accepting suffering. It is himself, his presence, his peace, the specific quality of stillness that was in him even at the edge of death. A peace that passed understanding then, a peace that passes understanding now. So we have the psalmist's declaration. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. And Jesus' promise, "My peace I give you, do not be afraid." Neither of them is pretending the chaos away. Neither of them is asking you to feel something you don't feel or to deny what is real. Both of them are pointing to a presence that is present in the chaos, not after it. A peace that doesn't wait for the storm to stop before it arrives. Here's what I want you to sit with for a moment. The chaos in your life right now is not evidence that God has lost control. The surging and the roaring and the mountains falling are known to Him, not surprising to Him, not overwhelming to Him, not catching Him off guard. The psalmist wrote this psalm in the middle of a real crisis. He found the refuge in the middle of the surging, not after it stopped. That is the invitation for this morning. Not to wait until things calm down to find peace. To find the peace that is available right now, inside whatever is surging. You cannot quiet the storm from the outside. You cannot control most of what is contributing to the chaos in your life right now. The circumstances, the other people, the systems, the uncertainties. But you can locate yourself inside something that the storm cannot touch. You can come to the refuge. You can receive the peace that is being offered. Not once, not permanently, but in each moment as it arrives. A return, again and again, to the one who does not move when the mountains move. The practice of coming here in the morning, of pausing before the noise of the day begins and letting something steadier speak, is itself an act of building that refuge in your life. Every morning that you choose this over the immediate pull of the chaos, you are reinforcing something. You are deepening the habit of knowing where to go when the surging gets loud. You are building a muscle of return. And the muscle of return is one of the most important things faith can develop in a person. The ability to find the center when everything else is spinning. There is something worth naming honestly about chaos. It is not a sign that something has gone fundamentally wrong with your faith or your life. The chaos the psalmist describes, mountains falling, waters surging, is not a punishment. It is a description of the world as it actually is. Life in a broken world includes seasons of real upheaval, real loss, real disorientation. The invitation of this psalm is not to avoid those seasons, but to know where to stand inside them. To know that there is a place in God that the chaos cannot breach. The refuge is real, and it is available, and it does not require you to have it all together before you enter it. This is also worth saying. Calm is not the same as peace. You may not feel calm after this prayer. Your circumstances may not have changed. The things that were chaotic when you sat down may still be chaotic when you stand up. That is okay. What we are after is not the surface calm of everything feeling manageable. It is the deep peace of knowing that even when things are unmanageable, you are not abandoned. The earth can give way and the mountains can fall and the waters can roar, and still the God who is refuge and strength has not moved. Peace lives in that certainty, not in the absence of surging. And sometimes the most courageous thing you can do in a chaotic season is simply to come here, to stop, even for 20 minutes, and let something outside the chaos speak into it. Not because you will solve anything, not because you will emerge with a plan, but because you will emerge having stood, however briefly, in the refuge, having received, however quietly, the peace that Jesus left, having reminded yourself of the truth that the chaos has been trying to shout over. You are held. The one who holds you is not moved by the surging. And that is enough for this morning. Remember this as you go into your day. The psalm doesn't say the surging stopped. It says, we will not fear. That is the promise. Not that life becomes easy, but that fear does not get the last word. Not that the chaos resolves immediately, but that the refuge holds in the middle of it. You are allowed to acknowledge how hard it is. You are allowed to feel the weight of it. And you are also allowed to stand in the refuge while you do, held, unafraid, accompanied by the ever-present help who has never once abandoned anyone who came to him in trouble. The psalmist ends the passage we read with an image of mountains quaking in the surging. And in the very next verse, which lies just beyond our passage but is present in the psalm, he writes, "There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God." Right in the middle of the surging, there is a river that makes glad. Not instead of the chaos, alongside it, running through the same reality. That is the texture of what we are receiving this morning. Not a removal of difficulty, but the presence of something that makes glad even when the mountains are quaking. Take a breath here, slow and deliberate. In through your nose, feel the stillness of this moment, the small pocket of quiet that exists before the day begins. Hold it for just a second. Breathe out through your mouth, and as you do, release something. Release the pressure you have been holding in your chest. Release the grip, because you have been holding something you were never designed to hold alone. It is okay to let it rest in hands that are steadier and larger than yours. Do it again. Breathe in. You are here. You are held. There is a refuge, and the chaos cannot breach it. Breathe out. Whatever is surging outside can wait for just this moment while you receive what is being offered inside this stillness. Let us pray together now. Lord, this morning, I come to you with everything I have been trying to manage alone. The chaos that surrounds me feels relentless, always something shifting, always something new to navigate, always another piece that doesn't fit the way I planned. I have been trying to hold it together with my own strength, and I am tired. So I come here, into the refuge, not because I have figured out how to be calm, but because I need something stronger than myself to stand in. I hear the psalmist say, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." I need that word to be true for me today. Not in theory, not as a theological proposition, but in the actual morning I am living, with the actual weight I am carrying, in the actual chaos I am navigating. Be my refuge today. Not a refuge I have to fight my way to, but one that is already here, already holding, already proven true in exactly this kind of trouble. And I receive the words of Jesus. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Lord, I confess that I have been looking for the peace the world gives, the peace that comes when circumstances improve, when uncertainty resolves, when the surging finally stops. I have been waiting for conditions to change before I allowed myself to feel settled. Teach me the other kind, the peace that held in a room the night before crucifixion, the peace that exists not after the storm, but inside it. That kind of peace is not something I can manufacture, but it is something you can give, and I am asking. Forgive me for the times I have tried to navigate the chaos on my own, with nothing but my own strategies and my own strength, without once stopping to acknowledge that you are here, that you are already in this, that the refuge is available to me right now. Forgive me for mistaking busyness for faithfulness and self-management for trust. I don't want to get to the other side of this season and realize I carried it alone when you were offering to carry it with me. Teach me to recognize the difference between the noise of the chaos and the voice underneath it. Your voice, steady and present, speaking words of refuge and strength into the very middle of what feels most out of control. Teach me not to wait for the surging to stop before I listen for you. Teach me to hear you in the surging itself, an ever-present help, not a later arriving one. So I bring you all of it now. The uncertainty I've been white-knuckling, the relationships that are strained, the work that feels too big, the decisions I can't quite make clearly, the fear underneath everything about what comes next. I lay it at the foot of this refuge, not because any of it is resolved, but because the refuge is stronger than any of it. Because you are stronger than any of it. May the peace of Jesus, not the peace the world gives, not the peace of resolved circumstances, but the specific peace of a God who is an ever-present help in trouble, settle over this day. May I carry the refuge with me into whatever the chaos brings. May I find, in the middle of the surging, that there is a place that does not surge, a stillness at the center that holds everything else. Do not let my heart be troubled. Do not let me be afraid. Not because the chaos stops, but because you are in it with me. Proven faithful, ever-present, refuge and strength. May this day begin here, in the refuge, in the strength that is yours and not mine, in the peace you have promised to everyone who comes. In the name of God, who is our refuge and strength and an ever-present help in trouble. Amen.